Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is our new little series, Boss Rush. This is going to be our sort of like, I guess, kind of Game Grumps-ish. Grammar
Grumps.
Grammar Grumps. This is our Gamer Grumps series.
Sort of style thing.
So we thought best way to get this started would be with my personal favorite game of all time ever made in the history of anything, The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
I'm excited for this one.
I too
It's
am
a
excited.
game I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, it's a good one. Now, for the best like visual quality and everything, we are going to be playing through the Virtual Console version on the Wii U. Because, you know, otherwise it's going to look real grainy and very not good
Yeah.
if we try to do it through the N64.
Yeah. And for this playthrough, for this time, Wayne's he's gonna have his hands on the steering wheel, and I'm just gonna be along for the ride.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good though, because I'm a cool passenger who's got the aux cord or whatever, and it's just analogies.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
So, I know this game like front to back. I've played it so many times. Oh, it's good. Makes me feel things, you know.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most emotionally like grounded Legend of Zelda games. As far as
Yeah.
if you look into it, it is. On the surface, not really.
Well, I absolutely
But-
think it is, just because you know, this game is all about the characters and what they're feeling and how they're reacting to what's going on in the world around them. Like that's the real meat and potatoes of this game.
And like many of the Legend of Zelda games, especially some of them recently, other than Skyward Sword, really, they've got some very good meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Good,
Delicious meat and potatoes.
delicious meat and potatoes.
There it is.
You ready?
I am absolutely ready. Okay, so we're gonna name our hero
Edward.
Squeeb. What?
Alright.
His name is
All right.
Squeeb. Alright, Squeeb, let's go on an adventure.
Let's do it.
So, I guess we probably could have started with Ocarina of Time,
Eh.
but if you ask me, this game's better anyway.
Yeah.
So this isn't the
agree.
sequel to Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is the prequel to Majora's Mask.
I would take that. I would absolutely. I prefer this game for sure. Ocarina of Time. I don't think I actually ever beat Ocarina of Time. It was
Oh,
just-
really?
Yeah, it was one of those games that I got to a certain point and I was just like, I don't know. I either just lost the will power, which might have been a water temple thing because
Yeah.
I think something happened there.
That's a
and I
long
got set
game.
back. It is a very long game, yeah.
I love this opening.
I feel like this was one of the first times in Legend of Zelda where they showed a scene that felt so open world.
Yeah. Have we introduced ourselves?
No,
Okay. So I'm Wayne.
and I'm Jake.
We are going to be your hosts for this wonderful adventure. I, of course, am the owner of the channel, although Jake has definitely had his hand in making it what it is.
Oh, I thank you.
He worked on our intro.
Which
And-
I'm very happy with.
Yeah, it looks so good.
And in the future, depending on how this one goes, I might be making at least just tweaking the intro for this new series a little bit. Yeah, I always loved the design of Skull Kid.
Yeah, Skull Kid. Well, what's so interesting to me is that he was a complete like background character in Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah.
Like this is you actually meet this specific Skull Kid in Ocarina of Time. He's in the Lost Woods, and you can play your ocarina with him.
Yeah.
And so they took a character that had nothing to do with anything, and they basically made him the antagonist of the game, which I think is fantastic.
And it worked out very well.
Yeah. I love how, like, we find out later just how apocalyptic Skull Kid's powers are.
Oh, totally.
But right now it's just this very, almost innocent kind of mischief of him, like, just taking Link's ocarina. I'm sorry, Squeeve's. He's taking Squeeve's ocarina and just playing with it.
Yeah, which almost later on makes him a scarier antagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like to take a line from like Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight is I think Majora, like as an entity, really is an agent of chaos.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And you guys will see more of what all that is about.
Yeah.
Later on.
Don't want to spoil anything too much.
Nah.
Or at all.
Yeah. I mean, preferably at all. You know what I really would have loved? I would have loved to have recorded Majora's Mask 3D.
Oh, yeah.
It looks so good, and they actually changed a couple of things that I think make it the definitive version of the game. I know that there's some people, some naysayers, some purists who would argue with me.
Yeah.
As Majora's Mask is my favorite game, I was a little worried when Majora's Mask 3D was coming out, and I saw that they were changing some stuff, and I was like, I want this to be the same game. But honestly, most, if not all, of the changes that they ended up making for Majora's Mask 3D, I thought made it a better experience. But I don't have any way to record,
like a 3D.
Yeah, like
platform.
there are ways to record a 3DS.
But when they make games for the 3DS, they put a lot of stuff for like depth perception that you wouldn't get in other games.
Yeah.
That you're finally able to understand.
Oh, well, that's like
3DS, which is great.
And even that isn't like a huge deal to me because Majora's Mask 3D, there's nothing in the game that relies on you having the depth perception or anything like that.
Okay.
Like you can play the entire game in 2D and not miss a thing. I think the 3D looks great, but it's not essential to the experience.
Yeah.
But mostly it's just that one, I think it looks better. Like all the models and textures are rezzed up a bit.
Yeah.
But even like using gyroscope aiming to use the bow and everything like that, I'm gonna miss that for this playthrough.
Oh yeah, that's one thing from Breath of the Wild, where as soon as I felt that they had that, you can just move your hands with the controller and it brings the you're able to be so much more precise. Like,
yeah.
There's only so much you can do with a stick, with an analog stick, and being actually able to move the entire controller has been like super helpful.
Yeah.
Especially for someone who loves archery in those games so much. And honestly, as much as Twilight Princess was so like marketed as basically Legend of Zelda's darkest game,
Yeah.
I feel like this one's probably darker.
I think it is, and I think a lot of that comes from... And I love Twilight Princess.
Oh, totally.
And I've only liked it more the more times I've gone back to play it, but I think it lacked a lot of the subtlety that Majora's Mask had.
Yeah, it was like the Twilight's this big, like, looming actual dark place that you go. It's all, like, literal.
Yeah.
Oh, with this game, even when you put on the masks and things like that, it's a lot... You can tell there's a psychology to it, which I really appreciate.
In a way, I sort of see Majora's Mask as the Empire Strikes Back of Zelda games.
What do you mean by that?
So Empire Strikes Back kind of... I think the original Star Wars trilogy sort of laid down a template for how trilogies and stuff like that work.
Alright.
Or in just how multiple entries in one series are kind of handled. Star Wars, the first one, it had its dark moments, like Luke finding his aunt and uncle just burned to a crisp, because,
Yep. I would say that. Yeah, counts.
But which Ocarina of Time certainly had its dark moments too. The dead hand is one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen, even to this day.
Oh, you're right. A little bit.
But Empire Strikes Back was so much darker than the first Star Wars.
Yeah.
And, by the end of it, you find out, Luke gets his hand cut off. He finds out Darth Vader's his daddy. Han Solo gets frozen. The rebellion's been kind of crippled and everything. It's just a much darker tale. And I think Majora's Mask kind of followed suit in that while it was following up Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, totally. One of the things that I think really adds that to this game, though, the difference in the way that it's a different kind of dark game from Twilight Princess is also the age of the character. Like, the first thing you do in Twilight Princess is go and work at your job. Like, you're an adult in Twilight Princess. In this game, Link's, he's still a kid. He's
still 10 years old.
Yeah. He might have had, in Ocarina of Time, he might have, grown physically.
Yeah.
But, he's still a kid, and, all of this stuff in this game specifically would have been way more psychologically taxing, and, it's a way more, mentally difficult game, I guess.
Yeah.
And in Twilight Princess, it's just him facing the actual, physical dark stuff, which is cool. I'm fine with both of them.
Yeah, one thing I found kind of interesting was there's a manga based on Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
And they tackle, the setup to where he's at the beginning of this game. And you see him trying to find someone, and nobody's taking him seriously because, it's just this 10-year-old kid. He's like, you know what? I have seen some things you can't even imagine.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Generally, when you get turned into an adult and see a bunch of hamburger men out in your old town that are, they crawl onto your face, it's not a good time.
Yeah. No, generally, sorry about that. So, we're a tree now. Or...
I'm a plant.
Yeah. We got 420'd by the Skull Kid. and so...
That's the whole plan of this game, and you're not letting Skull Kid have it.
Well,
it's sad.
What probably was driving a lot of people crazy who loved Ocarina of Time was that right out the gate, this stuff is so new.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, surprise, you're not Link anymore. You're your little Deku scrub guy, and you have to float around through these little flowers. And to get around places.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right, what the heck do I do?
I played Wind Waker before this one, so the plants is a transport was kind of that was a little something that I remembered. But I remember playing this game, I think for the first time, I just played the beginning, and I played it at maybe my parents' friend's house or something. I don't remember. But it was so weird to me because I'd been playing Legend of Zelda games before that. And I got to this one, and I remembered them always feeling super free.
Yeah.
You're Link, you're this hero, and there's all this, awesome stuff. But in this one, they knock you down quite a few pegs at the very beginning. You feel, the first time I played this game, when you get turned into the Deku Scrub, you feel like you can't do a single thing.
Yeah.
And it's powerful, and I like that they did that, especially for people who've played older Legend of Zelda games, or other Legend of Zelda games before this one.
Yeah.
So.
And it's I love this place. For one thing, I love the music that plays. But then, this is also where we meet this guy.
I love this guy so much.
That line.
My favorite character.
You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?
They better add more masks to the next Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things.
I do think you're rude for following me. Thank you very much. Also, that mask is not having a good time.
It's fine. Maybe that's a scream of happiness.
I mean, you know, part of me doubts it, but sure, we'll go along with that for now.
Oh man, the way they move this character makes me happy.
Yeah, because he just cuts between animations.
Yeah,
which I think is great.
They have him in this like human-looking form, but there's so much about the way that he acts that is so far out of like human, Hylian, whatever, like being that I feel like he isn't. He might be like a god or something like that, honestly.
Well, he's even saying like, "Oh, I have to leave this place in 3 days."
Yeah, because
like,
he knows.
Yeah, but also like this place, I think, is like this dimension.
Oh yeah.
Because like it's stated because this guy was in Ocarina of Time, but then it's also stated that Termina, which is where we are now, is an alternate dimension from Hyrule. Let's see if I can get. I'm trying to see Mario. There's a little Mario mask on the back of the Happy Mask Salesman's bag. It's hard to see because of the lighting, but it's there. He's got the little mustache and the red hat. It's hard to see.
That's alright. I remember it from before.
Even this little text thing, I think, is such a good idea.
Yeah. And this is something weird with this game and with Breath of the Wild for sure. They're two games that really kind of went out of the box as far as like Legend of Zelda goes, because Legend of Zelda seems to have this. It's not a bad thing, but they've kind of got this formula for a lot of the games.
Yeah.
And it follows that formula, and it's a great formula. It's really nostalgic.
Yeah.
And I love it. But this game and Breath of the Wild just, they seemed to, I don't know why they allowed the, production team to change so much. Because it's like taking something that works and breaking it down and starting from the ground up.
Yeah.
And for most businesses, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. For this one, it just works every time, from what I've seen.
But yeah, it's what was so interesting about this game was like just how it was even put together. Now, one thing I really like to highlight here is that we've been thrust into this world. We've been told that the Happy Mask Salesman needs to leave in 3 days. He didn't say why. And even when we get outside, we are not even told to look up.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it yet.
I don't know what you're talking about, but alright.
This guy got to say. Yeah, he's just repeating himself. See, it just keeps it out of frame.
Yeah.
It's like you have to discover it on your own.
It's also a really, atmospheric game.
Yeah.
They make it feel like a town. And I appreciate that a lot. Even if there aren't as many people as you might expect.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Plus, they had to keep track of everyone.
They all have their own set schedules, but they all have their own, character, too. Like, they all have personalities, and they all have, things that they're trying to do. I never really noticed how careful they were about keeping the camera low there.
Yeah.
Unless you're looking up, you're not gonna see it.
Balloon?
Yeah, sure, the balloon.
Okay.
This little twerp is trying to shoot it down.
I'm sure he's got it.
Before we head in to go talk to the Great Fairy, as our little friend Tattle is trying to tell us to do, we're gonna go ahead and hop in here because this is going to help us set up to get an early piece of heart. There are... This game has the highest amount of pieces of heart out of all the other Zelda games, clocking it at 52.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just... Oof.
This little mini game.
Yeah, if they had pieces of heart in Breath of the Wild, I'm sure it would have had more.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And that game needed a lot of hearts.
Yeah, because you have like 30 hearts in that game as compared to the normal 20. So yeah, this little mini game, you can try. You can only succeed at it. You can only win it and then like try again once per day. But if you do it 3 days in a row, then you get a piece of heart for it. What I find interesting was that in Majora's Mask 3D, instead of like a little bit of rupees on the first 2 days as prizes, you get which is what the 64 version does. In the 3DS version, you get like a fishing pass because they added a fishing pole to the 3D version of the game. Which is like it's a whole new area in the 3DS version that just wasn't there before.
Fishing has been one of those things in some of the previous Legend of Zelda games that I've really enjoyed for whatever reason. Like you shouldn't. It's such a small part of the game, and with a lot of games, it doesn't have to deal with pretty much anything except for maybe a few small parts. But damn it.
Squeeb.
That's not a strange name for a Deku Scrub.
It's not strange at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
I love the Deku dudes.
They
make
cool.
me happy with their mustaches, and I'm sure very weird voices.
I can hope very weird voices.
I mean, without a nose, how well can you speak?
Does he not have a nose?
He's just kind of got a mouth cylinder, you know, like a mouth tube.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, Deku Link has like a mouth tube. I'm pretty sure the other Deku Scrub, like the merchants, had a... Oh no, the Great Fairy. They had like
some sort of schnoz device.
Something like that.
Huh? I was so confused when I came in here in this game, because I've seen plenty of different styles for the fairies in lots of different games. Is this the only Legend of Zelda game that has these weird things?
Shoot, no. There's one other one, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I don't like their faces. They're kind of just like flying babies with wings on their heads, and it makes it weird.
I think a part of me wants to say Minish Cap, but I'm not sure if that's correct.
Yeah, I think my favorite fairies from any Legend of Zelda game were probably the ones from Wind Waker, because they put personality into them.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you usually keep a fairy in a bottle, like in Twilight Princess, and it would just look cool. But in Wind Waker, they were like little people.
Yeah.
And every time you put them in a bottle, they'd look really sad. Because you're just keeping them in captivity until they're of use to you.
It was
and
the
it's
best.
Hilarious.
Oh, I love that. I know exactly what you're talking about. I thought that was the most hilarious thing in the world when I was a kid.
Wind Waker Link is just... That particular Link has so much personality.
Yeah.
And it's just... Ugh, I love it.
And that's where the little stray fairy was. They end up doing something with the stray fairies later in the game once you actually get to the dungeons that took me so long to figure out to actually like complete it.
Oh yeah.
It's like in every temple there's a ton of I think there's somewhere between like 10 and 20 like stray fairies, and if you get all of them and then take them to the fairy fountain that's like in the little hub area where you find the temple, after you beat the temple, then you get like a new upgrade, like more health or whatever, or more like magic, or like you take half damage or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, did you never know about that?
Well, I knew about it, but I just honestly, the most of like stray fairies that I've seen in a temple has been like maybe 2.
Oh,
I haven't looked very hard for them
Yeah.
ever, and yeah. Well,
These things disturb me even to this day.
they are the most disturbing fairies that they've ever made.
They're pretty gross.
Yeah. My favorite Great Fairy in all of Legend of Zelda history, for sure, is Twilight Princess. Because it was just so shiny and so just like almost human, but this like ethereal,
Yeah.
awesome. I loved it.
They were pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was just always a little weirded out that they were all like topless and they had like
Oh,
their
yeah.
hair just kind of like
Yeah.
covering their nips.
It was a pretty teen-rated game.
It was a pretty
But,
T-rated game.
I think they still took that like a pretty mature route, honestly.
Yeah, it was still tasteful. Like,
Unlike this game,
yeah, this game is just creepy.
it's pretty creepy throughout, for multiple different reasons.
So now we have the ability to shoot snot bubbles out of our face.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's where you got that ability.
Yeah, we're gonna take
Yeah.
full advantage of this by popping this kid's balloon.
By making a kid sad.
Hey kid, hopes and dreams, give 'em up. He just had a dark revelation there.
Oh,
What is that supposed to mean?
racist?
Yeah, that is very racist. Which, actually, there's kind of a racial undertone to a lot of elements in this game,
Yeah.
which I find very interesting.
I think they were pretty bold with some of the choices in this game. Especially because this one was still rated E, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It wasn't until the remake that it was given an E10 rating.
Honestly, that surprises me because even just like I said before, the animations with the masks,
Yeah,
like
they're creepy.
that's pretty creepy and like I don't know about you, and honestly I don't remember if it did anything to me as a child, but that's it's a little tense for some kiddios.
We gotta catch all these stupid little kids so we can join their club.
You mean cult?
Yes. I'm late for a cult meeting. Oh, this guy's here now.
He is, I'm sure he's just a good citizen.
Well, I can't really do much with him right now because I can't stop him from doing what he's gonna try to do without a sword, and I don't really have access to one right now. So, yeah, are you getting? Alright, that's fine. It looked like I was dragging him with me.
It looked like you just grabbed him by the collar.
I was like, come on, kid, we're going.
We're going places.
You're going to hell, little boy. Alright, come on, run into me. Run into me. Run into me.
I don't think that's... Alright, never mind.
Alright, 3 left. And they actually changed some of the locations for these little brats in Majora's Mask 3D.
Is there a reason for that?
I guess because they were just too close together, and so I think by splitting them up a bit more, it forces the player to explore the town a little more.
That makes sense.
Gets them interested in some of the other NPCs that are around the area, and that's going to help them out a lot later.
Oh, yeah. I do not remember this guy riding a chicken down into the plaza. That makes me very happy.
Which, actually, sadly, I think
awesome.
that might be one of the ones they took out of 3D.
Seriously?
I
That's
can't remember.
such a cool thing.
Is there one up here?
I thought I saw one up here.
I could have sworn there was
Maybe
one up
you
here.
got too close and he went down?
That's entirely
He might have
possible.
Ran down there.
He's just like,
Yeah.
oh, there he is. He's waddling around. Come here, penguin child. Meanwhile, I
very
just
impressed.
spin around everywhere.
Yeah, by how fast these kids are, despite their tiny legs.
Yeah.
And no knees.
Hey, yo, baby. Why you got such small legs? Alright, so there's just one left to find, and... Yeah, because in 3D, I think there's one hiding in a box in this area.
I remember them being really creative with some of the hiding spots in Wind Waker for that,
Oh, this is
Yeah.
probably what inspired that. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, because you had to chase around those horrible children who were already in a gang despite their age.
He didn't even see me coming. I just went flying right into his back. It makes me happy.
Good. You didn't have to chase that one around.
If only you were human.
Well.
And if only we weren't so racist.
I wonder whose parents taught them how to live.
Ugh.
What?
Oh, okay. Well, the code is really what we wanted, because
Yeah.
it's the only way we're going to get to the Astral Observatory, and we need something from there. Alright, so, and the code is randomized every playthrough, so it's
Oh.
different every time, which is the only
That's
reason
good.
why I bother with it. So, well, no, because I want the Bomber's Notebook, too, because
Yeah,
that's super
yeah.
helpful. But, 43 to 15. I can remember that. So 43 to 15. Oh, this is gonna be a really good way to reveal the thing in the sky too.
You mean the normal way that it's revealed?
I don't know, man. Shoot, what was it? 43 to 15.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
I'm useful.
You were trying to send me astray.
He's trying to
Lead me astray.
Yeah, lead
whatever.
you astray. That's how you
Ah.
that's how you learn.
One thing I loved about the 3D version of this game is that they added like little scribble marks all over the floor and like walls and everything. I'm like, oh, like, because the bomber kid, this is their hideout, so they like scribble all over the walls and floor and everything with chalk. That makes sense.
Yeah. And it
Spark-
gives a little bit of like emotion and stuff too,
Yeah.
which I like.
Not sure where these kids got these balloons with Majora's mask on them.
They must have gone to the balloon shop, had them specially made.
Balloon Shop, isn't that a YouTube channel?
Maybe.
It is, yeah. They're from way back in the day. Like, they were there when YouTube began.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, they're like
Yeah.
Smosh level, except I always kind of thought they were a little funnier than Smosh, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah. It's been a while since all of that. I feel like I wasn't actually a partaker of much of the early YouTube stuff. Because, like, the only computer I could use at the time really was, like, school's, like, IT lab
Yeah.
computers, so.
Oh, I love this. This is where they start revealing that Skull Kid has been causing problems for, like, individual people all over the world.
Yeah.
Here. So, yeah, you know, it's just kind of like, it gets you thinking, it's like, hey, maybe this guy's, like, gotta be, you know, maybe stopped.
A little bit.
Alright. There it is. That's a good
Oh man,
face.
I love just the fact that a simple face, you can tell what noise it would make
Yeah.
just by looking at it.
Well, it feels like it's there's this guy named Matthew Matosis, great YouTuber, and he made a point that I really like. And he says it's like the moon is stuck between three different faces. It's like pain, anger, fear, you know, stuff like that. It's like just a mesh between all of them.
Yeah.
And it's like innately disturbing just to look up and see a face that's not a face, is the way he put it.
Yeah. And that's one thing that kind of makes you think, because, like, I feel like people antagonize the moon in this game a lot. But, like, this moment right here, with, like, the moon's tear, you know? Maybe that's some sort of thing of, like, showing that the moon isn't the one in control of this stuff.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have a face to begin with.
I mean,
But,
probably
like,
not, but, like...
But since it does, and it cry...
Yeah. Well, originally,
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
it was going to have one, which is why, like, you look at that poster that we have on the wall, there's no face on that moon.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, like, where along the line Aonuma got the idea to throw a face onto it. Which, oh yeah, this was, I believe, the first Zelda game not directed by Shigeru Miyamoto. There was a part of the staff from Ocarina of Time was working on a new project for Nintendo called Ura Zelda, which was basically going to be like an expansion pack for Ocarina of Time, just like whatever that era's equivalent. Like remixed versions of the temples and everything like that, which I guess you could kind of say Master Quest ended up being that. And Eiji Aonuma didn't want to work on it, so he made a deal with Shigeru Miyamoto. And Miyamoto said that if you can make a new full Zelda game in 1 year, then you don't have to work on Ura Zelda. So then this game happened.
I love it when people are like, hey, do this challenge and, you know, see how it works.
Yeah.
You don't have to do this or whatever. And Legend of Zelda and just Nintendo, I think, as a franchise. Well, not Nintendo. Legend of Zelda as a franchise. When they've had people go out of the box, it's worked. And they've done a good job. And they've just blown it out of the water. It's awesome.
So if we talk to this banker and we deposit, I believe, like, if we deposit 200 rupees, we'll be able to hold more. So I try to get that done sooner rather than later, so I can get that wallet. Squeeb, is it?
Oh! I won't forget your deposits.
Yay!
Doesn't she, like, put a stamp on your forehead or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's what she just did.
You just got the word squeeb. You look like a rapper now. You're officially a rapper. You've got the word squeeb on your forehead.
Well, she said it's like a special kind of ink.
It never goes away. Ever. It's a tattoo.
This is one of the creepiest things in the world to me, is what the screen does when it's going into another day.
And they did so much in this game that's just like...
Because, like, time is slipping away, you know?
Into the future.
Yeah. It's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
It's so... like, they took every conceivable advantage of, you know, this medium to get across, you know, what they wanted to.
Yeah, even in just, like, breaking the fourth wall like that.
So, we need to get up to that clock tower by the 3rd day. And we need this guy's flower in order to get up there, because we can't climb because we're tiny.
Got little arms.
Yeah, he doesn't have a nose. You're right.
Yeah, he's just like, this is my private property. Don't try using it when I'm not around. There you go.
All right.
I'm already sold out of my wares, and the carnival hasn't even begun. I'm thinking of closing up shop so I can buy a gift for my wife and return to her in my village.
Lucky man.
So yeah, this is why we got the Moon's Tear. If we give the Moon's Tear to this Deku guy, then he'll give us the deed to his Deku flower, and we can fly up to the tower.
Which is, in my personal opinion, a ripoff.
Yeah.
You want a flower? Give me a precious stone from the moon.
Yeah, you know. That's how the economy in Termina works. This ain't Hyrule.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the big boys club.
He's got all of his money bags bigger than him.
There he goes.
Rupee bags.
So yeah. Also, I just kind of skimmed over it before, but yeah, this dog that's here reacts to you differently depending on like what mask you have on and like what you're transformed into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably gone inside because it's raining. On the 2nd day,
I
it rains.
think you threw it into the
Good.
pond.
Good. He deserves to stay there.
Not sure if he's still there.
I hope he
maybe
is.
one said. The dog's all that matters in this game, so.
No, that dog can die.
It's true.
He attacked my face.
Yeah. He loves you when you're like a Goron, though. Two-faced dog.
2 days left. And there's one thing that I really like to... I really like here on day 2 is that you got a nice little emotional moment. I don't know if she's here yet. She's not here yet. But what with it being all rainy, kind of depressing and everything.
Yeah.
there's a character that's going to be going down there to that little park bench. Also, the moon's getting bigger because it's
No,
getting
it's
closer.
not. That's not how rocks work.
What? Alright, so we can't get into the clock tower yet until the carnival has begun. But what we can do is get this piece of heart. Speaking of pieces of heart, we need to go do that minigame. Yep. So not until the midnight of the third day can we get in there.
Legend of Zelda games, all of them, the music is far too good. It's probably illegal.
Yeah, Majora's Mask has one of my favorite soundtracks out of the whole series. So good.
I don't know if I'd be able to pick a favorite Legend of Zelda song.
Let's try.
You don't have any money.
I don't know, because I gave it all to the banker.
That's what happens
I'm
when you
an idiot.
put your money in the bank.
Well, maybe
You don't have any money anymore.
we can get more money and try the mini game again in the next episode of Boss Rush.
Hey!
So thank you so much for joining us in
Yeah.
part 1 of Majora's Mask. So
I'm excited to do more of this. It's
Yeah.
been a good time.
I agree. Absolutely. All right. So this was Boss Sauce,
Boss Sauce?
and we'll see you next mission.
Yep.
That was fun.
It was a good time.
That was good.
Yeah. If there'll be more of that, a little bit, I guess. We'll get through this whole game, I'm sure, sometime.
Yeah, eventually.
Stupid children. Look at him.
I'm a kid. He's shooting up that stupid balloon.
Doesn't he remember that he can't? Why not hit
Keeps missing it.
Tingle's right there.
Yeah, hit Tingle.
You could be hitting that weird small man.
He's not hitting that small man.
No, you should be.
All right.